Here for probably about 3 days shooting, and when we actually had the bang, when we did the blast, the camera was mounted on the black car, and I was in a paddock up on the hill over there with another camera guy, and when the blast went off, it was kind of about a house-size explosion, and then the ensuing fireball, well, it actually lit up all the grass around us, and all we could see from the hill over there was like smoke, and Harry, the camera assistant, and I just kind of packed up the camera and sort of started walking there to get away, but fortunately we had a little CFA guy there and they quickly put it out. One off at 70, 70, 70, 70, can we get 70? Can we get 70, 70, 70, 70, yellow interceptor?
I've got to thank David from OCD Bike Detailing, who's just donated $100 cash to Father Bob. So you guys, if you want your bikes detailed, go and see OCD Bike Detailing.
To make it in Sydney like Stone, they couldn't get any permits. Oh, really? So they said, oh, let's come down
to Melbourne. Melbourne,
and of course Byron, the producer, grew up in Werribee, so he kind of knew all the locations, and in actual fact, sort of, when we stopped at Geelong Road, we had a cop on a bike. He came out, I was in the car with the radio to say, this is when Johnny Boyd breaks the telephone box open, steals and breaks the phone. My car's parked in the centre median strip. Geelong Road's only 2 lanes then. The cop's bike's beside my car, hidden completely. The radio goes, yeah, okay, you can stop traffic now. The cop just walked out in the middle of Geelong Road and went. Next you could hear cars locking up and skidding. I'm sitting in the car going, yeah, roadblock, yeah. Make a film, guys. And they were stacking up about 5 or 6 deep. And then it's like, yeah, okay, all clear. And I just stepped back, just waved them through, and there's people that drove off. And I just said to myself, I'm never doing that. When Goose has got a broken leg and they do the run round before they go down into the car park, which of course this year was elsewhere. Yeah, so we only were short under there.
Which we couldn't get to today because getting these people through Carlton would be almost impossible.
And they hate us, they don't like Mad Max people down in that car park. Because too many people go down and they go, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm taking some shots because I saw Mad Max.
They must have hated us a couple of months ago. We had 3 of them in there.
Yeah, which is a shame because that's such a great location there. And the reason they built it was apparently to hold the forecourt above it, which is why it's got the kind of buttress things. Yeah. We shut down in the first week because Grant was bringing Rosie Bale out, who was going to pay Max's wife, on the bike to set to say hello. The truck pulled out, he dropped the bike, and they both broke their legs. So we shut down for 2 days, start up the following week, and Joanne Samuel was written out of what was then Skyways, and appeared and was in the movie. And yeah. Exactly, yeah. Because Rosie, I think, was only 15 at the time. She was in a Coca-Cola commercial. And Yeah, I mean, it would have made it have a different look, I guess, but I quite like it. I think Jessie plays a really good mum kind of.
Running gear all kept because they're going to drive it again. They had no other cars. So the bongo was pushed in front of, bang, I caught that. Telephone booth was just over there because none of that was built yet. And then bash through the telephone booth into that. Caravan still sideways, whack, straight through the guts of that. And it pivoted that old bongo around. You can see that.
Yeah. Was there a bloke in it, in the bongo?
Yeah, they replaced it, put the motor back in, and George drove it round for nearly 10 months.
But when it was hit, was there a guy in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought there was.
see something in it.
Yeah, he's just in there steering.
Yeah.
So it didn't go all over the place. And that's when Goose goes, the fella says, what's going on? Well, I don't know, I just got here myself.
That's it, that's a rip-off.
Well, if you have a good look at that one, that bike's got wire wheels. No mag wheels. That was Goose bike number 2. There's 3 Goose bikes altogether. The good one had the mag wheels and everything on it. Okay. And the 2 other crash bikes had wire wheels. And we used for falling over and running into things. And then 2 driveways up, the bongo van comes out, which sends Roop and Charlie off to the right-hand side. And so they do the letterbox punch and fly through the air, then send a punch a caravan. And while the other boys kept going. So that was the main bit in that. But I was amazed that the bongo van was rebuilt and was still running.
Oh my God.
George drove it around again for another good 8 months, I suppose. Yeah, for the bongo. Now the fella sitting opposite Goose having dinner didn't want to eat his breakfast. Right, Peter and Paul, the name was, they had a record shop in Smith Street, Collingwood, called Larrikin. Now we all used to get up there Saturday afternoon, upstairs, get the Wilbur Wild, the local musos and goodies and things, having a bit of a chop and what have you. And so that's Wilbur's bum, you see, running up the hill. On the right-hand side, just up there, past, is it Toll? What's the blue sign there?
Toll, yeah.
Toll.
Okay.
Just past Toll a little bit, because you have to have the bongo van coming out first.
Yep.
So the car can head off to the right-hand side, and then crash over through the caravan.
This was like a firing range during the war. No one's really exactly sure, but we kind of think they were a patrol box. Like, they'd sit back in there as the guys blew each other up or threw shells into the bay or what have you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe now.
As the actual...
Where's Max washing his hands? Where's that scene?
Other side of Little River.
Is it?
Yeah, out by the ruins.
Yeah.
We're filmmakers, we don't know.
You come a long way in that car chase.
Long range field tank.
But went to us, Cherry Lane.
Stuart, there's a police car just gone. And when he answered, I could hear the police car at the other
Mad
end.
Max 1, Terry Gibson.
Uh-oh. And we were basically being arrested, but it was like, this is the scene near the start of the movie where Roop's up on top of that, what's an ammo bunker of some sort, looking through at the couple making love in the grass, and he gets called back to the car and he jumps off and jumps down there and they take off. Also down here we shot the scene with Terry where David Egby, the cameraman, got on the back of the bike with him and they bored down. And so when you think about 180k with the cameraman on the back,
roadie.
not a real bad effort actually for a road like this.
Sleep anywhere.
And there was no white line. Also we shot the where Goose crashes here, where he goes up the ramp and, well, there's no ramp in the film, but he disappears into the air and crashes down on the ground and gets back up and picks up his radio and can't hear anything. Yeah, hello. There's also the scene where they come down the dirt track and turn onto the bitumen for the first time after they've left here. We also shot that here. I can't think of much else we shot here.
No, well, they're coming out the driveway, the dirt driveway. With
the dirt driveway.
Yeah, with the big bopper of March Air, whichever one it was,
cool.
Turning right there. The opening scene here.
Yep, the opening scene here.
the big high speed after he leaves
The nightclub.
The nightclub. You get a big blackie down the road. Then there's silence for a little while. Silence, and then meow. Right, well, that's me.
Yep, that's
single. That's
Terry
where I got
Gibson.
the most out of that bloody quacker. And then George said, "How can we get a movie of this?" I said, "Well, how can we get a movie of this?" And I said, "All right, strap him on the back." And he said, "What do you mean strap him on the back?" I said, "Well, he's going to fall off. He's got a great big mungle camera." So, all right, they strapped him on the back. We had a big strap between the pair of us, which was
Bit
fun.
of rope. No strap.
No,
Bit of rope.
So we done that, and he managed to hang on, but I had to stay on the right-hand side of the bike and lean over so that the camera could sit on my shoulder and be my head and look what you were seeing through the screen. Now that was for right-hand and left-hand corners. Now you boys know you don't go around a left-hand corner leaning out to the right. It don't work. Especially with a great heap of bloody camera equipment and sound equipment I had on the back too. So I told George Miller, I said, "Hey George, you know when we fall off, you're going to find 4 of us. Not 2. Yeah, but Egby did, Nelly. We were belting along in 4th gear, and he had nowhere to put his feet at the back foot regs, because they had rear set pegs on for me, and put my feet right down the back. So he had to sort of balance his heel and put his toes on the back of my heel. And so when he's doing that, when he's moved round, he's pushed it back a gear. He slammed it back into 3rd, and already doing about 9 grand. So that locked the back wheel up real good. And we sort of hung on for a little bit there, didn't tell him. And away we went all over the joint, up a couple of gears, clutch and things, and then we're up again. And then I had a free run all day. The sound guy come over and strapped all his sound goodies to the bike, and he said, "Now nick off and go and make me some noises." He said, "Like what?" He said, "Well, anything, everything, the lot, just go for it." So that was nearly a full tank of fuel. So I around doing that, and nearly a back tyre. Yeah, so that wasn't a bad day. They were going to put him on a little tiny bike, but that was the crash bike. Remember I said there was 3 Goose bikes, 2 with wire wheels and the one good one with mag wheels? Yeah, that was the one they used for the crashing when that lays down, and that's the one that's in the back of the ute when he gets the drum through the windscreen and rolls it. That's the crash Goose bike. And so if you look at the Melbourne Underground car park at the university, you look in the background when Johnny the boy's fucking around with the Goose bike. If you look over in the back, over in the distance, and don't look what he's doing, you'll see all the other Goose bikes lined up. Well, you're not supposed to see them. When I come back so many years later and I had to look how big it was, and I thought, "You're a fool."
We thought that at the time, yeah.
Yeah, now George was quite impressed when I come back, and that was only a practice run to see if David Egby could stay on. And when I come back, I said, "Right, you ready now?" He said, "What for?" I said, "We're going to get serious." He said, "Pig's arse, I'm going." So he politely left me and said, "That'll do." That'll do.
180's fast enough.
That's George on one of the other cameras.
He's meant to be down here.
Yeah, well, no, if you go back.
Yeah, I see that where he's coming off it.
He's supposed to, the ramp, you actually, if you look at the movie,
Yeah.
you can see the ramp.
Yeah, right.
You look at the shot where it leaves the road, you
You
can see a little bit of steel.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the ramp you're
Yeah.
supposed to hit.
This is also the road there at Dale Bench got hit in the back of the head with the motorbike, and he's not dead, he's still alive.
Just up the road here, your first left-hand turn is where you first see Max in the intercept with the bonnet up.
Yeah,
Wiping his hands off.
turn a road.
Turn right.
Yeah.